For years, I believed showing up every single week meant success. Recently, I caught myself asking a different question. Am I creating because I have something meaningful to say or because I feel obligated to produce? Now, every entrepreneur, leader, business owner reaches a point where discipline quietly becomes obligation. And today, I want to unpack the difference and why protecting your purpose matters more than protecting your streak. Now, we're roughly 200 episodes in at Level Up and Live. And for the 200 plus episodes that we have done, I have felt this pressure that I always had to have the next guest ready. I always had to have the solo episode ready. And I almost felt like it was, in a way, manufactured because I felt the pressure. And what I have learned is that the strongest episodes, the ones that made the most meaningful impact, that landed, that connected, came from real life scenarios of my own personal journey. That could have been anything from my isolation journey, which I lived through and that so many of us go through. That could have been in my marriage and what I've embodied and who I've become and what I've done differently to be a better husband. My food, eating emotionally, and what I did to change my eating habits and why I did that. And then my standards, consistently being 1% better and raising my standards to who God has called me to be, which is becoming a better human being. Now, everything that I just shared with you is real life scenarios. It's not manufactured. And honestly, it's a different feeling than when I feel if I'm trying to manufacture, if I'm trying to produce and I'm feeling that pressure. It's a different feeling. And one of the things that I relate this on the business side of things is, and that I continue to ask myself, that I would ask you, what are you still producing that no longer serves your mission? And I have asked myself this, and this can be anything from meetings, products, your daily habits. It could be coffee meetings, lunch meetings, business meetings, office meetings. There's so many different ways to look at this, but it ultimately comes down to, are these meetings, products, habits, and things that you're doing on a daily basis serving your mission or no longer serving your mission? I used to have meetings at least half a dozen times a week for one business, for one team. And after reflecting back, it was no longer being tied to the mission. We were just simply having the meeting to have the meeting, to produce, to check the box of having the meeting. And it was serving no one. It was a waste of time. But because I felt the obligation that we needed to have the meeting for the sake of always having the meeting, it was no longer serving the mission. Same thing in my habits. There's been plenty of times where I've had the same habit for year after year after year, and it no longer served me in who I was wanting to become. For instance, for the longest time, my habit of eating a pizza every Sunday from Domino's or Pizza Hut, it would be like clockwork, because you can have bad habits or good habits. And every Sunday, I would get that reminder on my phone from that Domino's saying that I had a free pizza, and immediately my habit would kick in and I would order that pizza. Now, the question I have to ask myself is, was this serving my mission and who I wanted to become? As identifying myself as a business athlete, is that someone, is that the man, the business leader, the athlete, is that the action that he would take? Would he eat an entire pizza every single Sunday? So that habit was no longer serving me. So I had to remove that habit from my life. And I had to create a new standard, just like I did with meetings in my business. Was these 6 meetings a week aligning with our mission? No, we were just checking the boxes because we felt obligated to do. It's this weird feeling that we get as human beings to continue to produce, to continue to feel the pressure and obligated to do the things that are no longer serving who we're called to be. So what are you still producing that no longer serves your mission personally, professionally? The new standard And what I would challenge you and encourage you, meaningful consistency beats empty consistency. Protect the mission, not just the metric. I talk about this all the time, how what gets measured gets managed. And yes, that is important if it's tied to the mission. So review your standard and make sure that it's meaningful in the things that you say yes to, because what you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. So is it tied to your mission and your vision and who you're wanting to become? This week, don't just ask what needs to get done. Check the box, the task, the other responsibility. Ask yourself, what deserves your best energy? Because that's our greatest resource. And we only have so much of it. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another leader if it challenges you. If you want conversations that sharpen your leadership and purpose, like we've had today, we'd love to have you experience the Level Up and Live Mastermind group. Keep leveling up.